Are you ready to talk the next chapter on Krule? Because he had his statement that finally came out today. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can read it on postwrestling.com or on X. But he talks about the Ruthless Pro Wrestling event and stating that there was an altercation with a fan whom I had had several incidents with throughout the night, including physically shoving myself during my entrance, and another fan who was trying to purchase merchandise after the show. In this moment, and I should say, like, we did not see video of this fan putting his hands on him, so we're going off of Krule's description here. In this moment,
fan shoving another fan. Was that in the same?
He said shoving myself, like he's saying he shoved Krule during his entrance.
And then he said he shoved the fan.
And another fan who was trying to purchase merchandise after the show.
Did we see that?
We did not see that. We did not see this guy lay hands on anybody until the punches were thrown and they get into the scuffle.
Yeah, I guess like in one of the shots, the one where we clearly see Krule deliver the first punch, it's hard to tell, like from maybe the vantage point of that sort of angle, what exactly the fan was doing to anybody else. So, okay.
Yes. I don't. Right. The video that the clearest one at the merchandise table, like it starts as they're already communicating. We don't know what happened before then. Is it possible he put his hands on a fan? Like, that's possible. Like, from all accounts, this fan was drunk. So the idea of him putting his hands on fans, I can't dispute that. He says, in this moment, I reacted and threw a punch. During that incident, I sustained an injury to my side that once I had returned to the locker room was discovered by staff at Berwyn. I did not know how this injury occurred, only that it occurred during the incident. Staff and wrestlers helped bandage me and tend to the wound. I left and was taken to a shower and driven to the airport, and I had an early flight the next morning for another booking. I awoke in the airport to calls from my family in tears. Did you get stabbed? I had no idea what was happening. Then I saw that story had been put out on social media. To be absolutely clear, I never wanted nor asked that this story be represented as fact nor made public. I was contacted by law enforcement and I fully cooperated with that process. I was asked if I wanted to pursue an investigation. I declined. I told the detective I did not believe I was stabbed, but I had probably fallen on something during the altercation, which is not listed in the police report. It's just that he stated he was not stabbed. I regret not addressing this immediately and allowing misinformation and assumptions to circulate without clarification. I apologize for not negating the claim to the public. I pride myself in blurring the lines of reality, but I understand this was not one of those times. Yeah, this would have been one of those times. Now comes the part of all of this I have struggled with the most, throwing a punch. I have been angry, remorseful, and every emotion in between. However, it finally hit me like a brick wall. I was in the wrong. Regardless of the situation and the things that occurred, it was my job to be a professional. In hindsight, many decisions made different could have changed the situation's outcome. I could have addressed the situation to management when I knew he was a problem. I could have made the decision not to go sell merch after the show to avoid potential conflict. I could have been a professional, and I failed. Thus, I accept full responsibility for everything that occurred. I failed as a professional. I have always taken pride in being professional and a team player. I failed and made a bad decision. And he goes on to apologize to the wrestlers, fans, and promotions that have been affected by the aftermath of this situation. And he just goes on here. But those are, his key points made. Now, it's noteworthy here that, like, over Mania week, this does appear to be affecting his bookings as well. And this is something that he should have gotten ahead of like how many stories we have talked about here. I can say I personally reached out to him more than once and not received anything back. I'm glad he finally got this out, but it's a little case of this whole situation is a mess from the incident that stemmed from it to the revelation that this entertainment license has not been yanked by the Berwyn Eagles Club, because I do feel that is key to this, is that I think that's where a lot of the source of anger is with Krule. It's not great that he didn't squash this immediately, but it's more so the ramifications that these promotions have now lost a venue. I think that's the key to all of this that they're upset with, is that here is it's not like Berwyn has all these different venues you can just jump to, and these companies that don't have a place to run anymore. GCW had to leave the state to go to take their show to Indianapolis, and I think that's the source of the anger here. And that's a question I still have is the Berwyn Eagles Club, what is if their entertainment license has not been revoked, why are shows no longer taking place after this past weekend?
Yeah. So this is certainly too late, to make an apology. But I think the fact that he did, and I thought I thought it was actually written really well. The fact that he actually did that, I do think deserves some, praise, right? But does it not excuse taking this long to do it while all the headlines have already been out there?
He could have killed this instantly, but at the same time, I don't want to absolve this guy, but he did not perpetuate this as much as Lou Nixon and Mickey Knuckles did.
And Mickey Knuckles has apologized. I have not heard the same from Lou Nixon.
Yes.
Now, nobody could have predicted the domino effect of this incident on everything else. And it's not fair to only put the blame on Krule for essentially inciting it, right? Really, the fan incited it. But
there's
Krule
blame to
made
go
it
around
worse.
here. Nobody comes out of this clean.
Yeah. But it's certainly Krule. It's the drunk fan. It's Lou Nixon. It's Mickey Knuckles. It's the Berwyn Eagles Club, who don't feel like they're telling the truth. At least that's the sense that we get. Yeah. It's this sort of broken telephone that we've been getting through messaging that has been unclear or vague or straight up lies. It's, some level of it, Brett Lauderdale, I'm sure, is only repeating what he is hearing. But the whole thing about the licensing, we got from him. And how clear was the information that he got? There's just a lot of I would say bad information that's been spread out there that has sort of resulted in all of this negativity. But I do think it should be worth something that one of the central figure in it all is taking responsibility for what he did wrong, which is throw the first punch and also not killing this when he could have.
Yeah, and I think this has been a case of just whether it was outright lies or it was misinformation. I think all of this is piled on. I've reached out to the person that organized this GoFundMe, and they have not gotten back to me since this. So I feel it's just they don't know what to say, or I don't believe this GoFundMe was launched as a scam. But at this point, to still have this thing open, to me, is there's no way you can endorse this at this point when this large looming question is out there about this license that the Chicago Police Department has confirmed this license has not been pulled. There's nothing legally preventing them from holding wrestling shows here. So until the Berwyn Eagles Club explains this, I don't know how you can keep this GoFundMe open when that is looming and not address it. And I did reach out and have not heard back anything yet. So there's no way you can support this GoFundMe now based off that big gap in information.
Yeah.
So this continues, as always. This is going to be the longest circulating story of the year. If the Post Wrestling Cafe were to undergo a drug test in the month of May, we would be testing positive because we are overloaded with content. We are going to be reviewing Hulk Hogan, Real American, all 4 episodes this month. Plus, we will go inside the Manosphere with a review of the latest Louis Theroux documentary. We will also have coverage of the Ronda Rousey-Gina Carano fight, also taking place on Netflix. Rewind Away tackles WCW Super Brawl 2, and we cover NXT TakeOver Brooklyn from 2015. All that, plus all of the XL editions on a weekly basis, Collision Course, Daredevil Born Again, and so much more. It can all be yours at postwrestlingcafe.com. $8 gets you in the door.